Good afternoon. My name is Tumi Tladi and welcome to my YouTube channel. If this video is the first video of mine that you're currently watching, I'm gonna urge you to watch my other previous videos. There are a number of mini series that I have done. I believe I did Solution Explorer mini series. I just completed the series on version control. This was fun to do. This was very fun to do. Please watch these videos. They will help you. They will help you. And currently I'm busy with this web API series, and soon, I think next week, because we're almost done, next week I'm gonna start a series on Xamarin where I get to show the live demo.
Which one?
The live demo with regards to Identical Docs mobile app. Sorry about that. Okay, so today we're gonna be doing, in our previous video number 7, we did this feature of phone numbers, and today we're gonna do uploads. So this is a big one, but before we get there, I wanna go to Visual Studio. This is Identical Doc system. I'm currently on Web API for .NET Core, and I was doing some stuff rearranging the comments and response types on the controllers. So let me show an example of what I was doing prior. So controllers v3, I want to use this one of voice messages. Okay, so what I had to do, I had to rearrange these comments. I had to rearrange them, like in this case of getting all messages for customer, so the very first thing that happens is that this unauthorized, it's only because when an API key wasn't supplied to access this resource. So this is the first check, right? So it should be the first comment that I put up there, and then it should be the first response type that gets to be produced by this endpoint. So I want to do this consistent type of thing where this web API project is clean. Now it's clean. Another thing that I did was, this guy previously, the type, there was no type that was returned while it produces this response. So I changed that from void to string, meaning that I had to now pass in what exactly is on the comment. And I did test this thing. It works perfectly where it returns this string because it can take in an object, right? The value of an object. Okay, as you can see, the value of an object. So in this case, I chose it to be string, and also did the same thing for 404. Previously it was of type of void, and now I used the same descriptive error message on the comments to be the one that gets to be returned. And I did test this. It works like a charm. So I've been doing this, and then I bump into an issue here where add a single voice message from the client in the system, right? From the client. So the issue was this return type that gets to be produced to 404, where really it's not 404, because if the post wasn't successful, it should not return 404, but it should return not acceptable. So there is a method not acceptable, but I cannot return not acceptable. But here, when I do status code dot, there is a status for 406 not acceptable, but I cannot return not acceptable. So that's an issue. Another thing I want to do, I want to know is this code supposed to be inside the try and catch block or not. The reason being because I need to understand this catch block, that what am I gonna do about these throw statements, because I intend to bring in a logger system that should it happen, but I need to understand what is the likeliness that DB update exception gets to be thrown, or any other exception, maybe a general exception gets to be thrown, but there is, it needs to be like that, defensive programming where you need to have a try and catch block, but I want to have a logger system where it can log, and then I get to check frequently what had happened on which line and then what triggered this thing. So this is what I was doing. So the last thing I was doing, when I was testing that functionality, I realized I did not register this v3. The v3 services were not registered for DPS injection. They were not registered. I only added them, but when I tested only then it could work. So these are small things that I had forgotten, and if I show the changes, you will see I added these using statements, and I added all the v3s because there were no v3s, and I separated them with an empty space or empty line. Yes, so this is what I was doing. So let me commit, and then so that we can get down to business of uploads. So when I talk about uploads, but before we do that, let's send this thing to GitHub and Azure DevOps. So we are moving from core underscore web API branch. Now we are on master. So we need to get our changes from this project. Yes, we did cover this in our previous series on version control. It's a fun series that I did. And then there is a invaluable knowledge there. Like really, it's priceless content. Just look for the playlist version control, and then you'll find them there. And let's push. Okay, so now they're going to GitHub. So uploads is a central feature for identical docs, because these are documents, they have to be uploaded, right? I'll show, let me fire Firefox, and I'll show what I'm talking about. So we're going to be doing uploads, and the second session I will talk about this controller called uploaded docs. This one's going to be a very short video, but this one might be long, but I don't intend to make this a video long. But the next video, it might be long. Okay, so let's see. Okay, went to GitHub, so let's also send it to Azure DevOps, and let's go and verify that on GitHub. And while it loads, so basically I just want to focus on this slider. Perfect. Just to recap, this gentleman, I'm gonna give him the name Frank. Okay, before I do that, let's double check that the changes did arrive. Identical docs. I've been busy. 1058 commits. So let's see. Yes, 2 minutes ago. Yes, there we go. Perfect. So this gentleman, I'm gonna give him name Frank. He's my client. He is a business or a store owner. This gentleman is a customer of a Frank, but if this guy is the first time doing business with a Frank, he's then a visitor, right? Cool. So this guy, instead of doing this, I want him to upload a document, and Frank will receive it on his laptop, and then he will, service that request from this customer or visitor, right? So this is what we have here, right? You're gonna use the mobile app to do exactly that. And these are the services. You can either do printing or copy, right? Cool. So let's log in. We need to log in to show something. But before we do that, I just want to show the page on the mobile app that we're going to be focusing on. Let me open this in a new tab. So let's log in as the administrator this site. Remember, this is .NET Framework application, is 2-in-1. I'm gonna open .NET Core this side. So this is .NET Core version of MVC. So this is my app. It's currently on Google Play Store, and then I think I do have a screenshot that I can use just to show the page for, there we go, upload this image. Okay, cool. So you know how much the printing is, and if it's supported or not. You know how much copying is, right? Let's just do this. There we go. So you have seen that, okay, you want to do business with Kagishola papers, and then they support printing for both color and black and white, and they also support copying for both color and black and white. And now what you want to do is this. Now you are about to upload. So this is the actual upload, and that's what we're going to be focusing on. But for my client, Mr. Frank, in this case, he has access to the portal, not the portal, but to, okay, let me use test one. He has access to, yeah, let's call it dashboard. It's a dashboard. Okay. So this is Frank. I'm simulating test 1 to be Frank. So Frank has access to businesses. We did cover this, but I'm still going to do extensive video where I show the code because it's chaotic behind the scenes. There's a lot that goes behind the scenes. Okay, this is not what I was looking for. Okay, let me quickly switch the accounts. There's a bug, there's a known bug. I'll fix it once I'm done with Web API series. There's a known bug, but stay with me, don't get lost. This is .NET Core, you will know by subdomain MVC, right? So let me log in as administrator this side. And this side, let me log out and log in as test1 account because I know there's a bug when it comes to businesses. Come on, new admin, you're gonna log in this side, and then here let's log in as test1. Test1 will be Frank. Test1, there we go. So this one finished first. Okay, businesses. So these are all the businesses, right? 11 total. I'm just simulating this. We're gonna focus on Kahishola Papers. This is a business, right? Now there's a business. Frankie can generate access pin for that particular business. We did cover this in our previous video. Please watch that video. It's an extensive feature, access pins. But now I'm doing uploads. So documents are in fact uploads, but for my clients, this is a documents. This is documents. So I'm not gonna focus on the MVC portion, but this is .NET Core. So there's nothing at the moment. But you know what we should do? Can we do this in live? I'm gonna use my phone, right? I can't show live, but I'm gonna use my phone. So let me launch my app so we can have a document. While it's launching, I'm gonna go to tasks as administrator. Okay, so it's my app. It says there's no internet connectivity because you cannot function. I cannot function when there's no internet connectivity. So let me turn on Wi-Fi. Okay, so I do have access to uploads as administrator, and I want to show you something. That I'm doing this in live. We do have another bug. Yeah, no, I don't know what's happening. There's another bug. So let me log out. Yeah, we do have a bug. This one I wasn't even aware of, but it's fine. I'm gonna be quick. So let me launch the private window, and then let me go to identical docs. .co.za. So we're gonna use this as administrator. Identical. There we go. So this is I'm gonna log in as administrator. This one is a robust system, 2-in-1, both MVC and Web API. Oh no, not this account. Can we do new admin? Not that account. There we go. Tasks, uploads. I'm still gonna fix these bugs that I keep on identifying, because I know there are some weirdness. Okay, see this one, it was working. So in total, I have these are the actual documents. I'll try to show one, but this is a live system. This is a live. So I have a 144. Okay, this administrator. Let's close this one, and then here, test one for Kahishola Papers. Let me go and now upload. I'm sorry you can't see this, but I'm launching the app. But I'm gonna do this live on my laptop when I do an extensive series on Xamarin where I get to show live. So right now it's loading. It's checking for the new updates. Okay, so I'm gonna say I'm a customer. Okay, it's checking for permissions. If I give it permission for location, it knows about it. Okay, let's give it a couple of seconds. Permission was granted. I'm sorry I cannot show because I tried to use a visor while it's loading. I tried to use a visor. It's working on my laptop, but not on my computer. So I'm gonna look for Kahishola Papers. So it found where I am. So these are the businesses. Which one is this? Monatis Tech World. So we just need to look for calculator papers. There we go. So it's IGHQ. This is the business number I'm putting in to search. Let's hit search. It found it. So I'm gonna go, okay, where I'm at right now, let me show. This is where I'm at. So let me go, this is where I'm at. This is exactly what I'm seeing. So I'm gonna go to services, and this is what I see. Then I'm gonna go to prices, and this is what I see, exactly this. And I'm gonna go to uploads on my phone, and this is what I see. So I'm clicking this icon, and then it's opening. It's asking for permissions, yes, to get the files. And then I'm gonna open, let's see, which documents do we have? Documents. Let's do the images. Let's do the images. I wanna show myself. The images here are not supposed to be shown. Okay, I'm gonna show an image of a screenshot on my phone, and then I'm gonna say the service. I'm clicking this to be copying, and then I'm coming to the ink type. It's gonna be black and white, and I want it to be double-sided, and I'm doing 15 pages. 15 pages, and then 15 pages, it's 45 rand. So I'm gonna type it here, 45 rand. So there's 15 pages, and then I'm gonna upload it. Yes, I agree. I hope it still works. Success. It says success. Look when I refresh, what's gonna happen. There we go. There we go. I just refreshed this, and there is a record. And then look what's gonna happen now when I go to the admin dashboard. You see it's 144 in total. Look when I refresh, what's gonna happen. 145. There we go. So on my phone, just to confirm, if I go to the alerts, it used IGHQ3 as a customer reference number. So let's go this side. IGHQ3. Yes, that's exactly what I see on my phone. This whole process, it didn't just work. It worked because of the web API. They didn't just show up here. So let me show the actual data, the actual image. It's a screenshot. This side you cannot see. Oh, my clients cannot see. They can only be presented by this, but they cannot see it. But this is what we did today. All of this. Like I said, I'm going to do a live demo extensively. But what I'm going to do, in order for me to see, because I get to see the actual image. So, because I have 145 records in total, it's better if I search IGH. There we go. Look at it. There it is. Thursday, the 2nd of September. 1309. This is what we're looking at. What we're looking for. There we go. So this is the file name. I'm gonna look at the image in a second. I told you it's 45 rand. That's what we typed. Well, it disappeared. There we go. Anonymous. And then for calculator papers, if I click here, it's gonna show the actual business info. There we go. Calculator papers. So cool. And then the image itself, if I click here, we'll talk about this. There's a screenshot I was talking about. There we go. So this is what I uploaded. So this I just simulated this. Now, as you can see, I'm gonna do this in the next session where we do uploaded docs. We'll talk about this, okay, in the next session. So let's begin. So now we saw a little bit about this guy, right? So let's talk about how it works. the web API. So I'm going to start with the main system, which is .NET Framework. It's 2-in-1, both MVC and web API, right? So I'm going to go to controllers and I'm going to go to web API v1 uploads. So I'm going to open this controller and I'm going to be slow. I'm going to take my time for this one. But I'm also going to show .NET Core version of the system. So let's give it a couple of seconds to spin to load everything, because I don't want to make Visual Studio mad and become unresponsive. Listen, the content, this kind of content doesn't exist on the internet. Doesn't exist. I show stuff live. I show the goodness. I want to be honest about the bugs and all the weird stuff, but I want to be transparent. Okay, so we need to pin this guy because we have a lot to work with. First, we need access to ApplicationDBContext class. So let's go look at it. Identity, ApplicationDBContext. Give it a couple of seconds. And then we're going to interact with this entity data model called uploads. So let's go to tables, media, uploads. Because I know my system. I didn't do this prior. I don't do this prior. I want to be shocked like the way you're going to be shocked. If something doesn't work, I want to be shocked. But also if something's working, I want to be over the moon with joy. Okay, so now we have those two classes. What else do we need? We're going to do this step by step, like we've been doing with our previous videos. We need access to API routes for v1. So let's close this project. We're done with it. And then we are done with the controller. Let's go to contract web API v1 API routes. Give it a couple of seconds. There we go. And then we're going to focus on this static class. What else do we need? We need this request. So we're gonna go to requests, upload, post one, upload request v1. We're gonna need this guy. Give it a couple of seconds. We also right here, we're gonna need the validator for this because it's been validated. So let's go to, let's close this guy. We need to go to validators. Listen, what I'm doing exactly what I covered in my previous videos, where we talk about HTTP verbs, response types, contract, controllers, AutoMapper, validators, installers, dependency injection, validation filters. But these are the main features. Hence, I'm here right now. Okay. So v1 upload, post one, upload request validator for v1. We need this guy. Give it a couple of seconds. There we go. What else do we need? We need AutoMapper. So we need to go to AutoMapper, web API, v1, upload this guy, profile. There we go. Next, what do we need? That's it. That's it. Let's start. Pay attention. If you know how good I am, pay attention. So we need entity data model. Uploads. This is the guy that created a table called uploads. This is the guy. All of these properties that you see here, these are properties that are making up our columns in the table. All these properties, literally. This is the only table that has so many properties. And then in a second, you're about to see why AutoMapper now it's very important in this case. Okay, all of them. Okay, let's start. So we have the constructor coming to it. So we have this upload ID property as a primary key. All of them are required, by the way. We have the service. Is it going to be copying or printing? I'm telling you. Ink type, is it color, black and white? File name, the actual file name. File type, is it the image? Is it TXT? Is it the Word document? Is it PDF? The flag for double-sided, as you saw, I clicked double-sided. Number of pages, as you saw, I did 15 pages. We'll take a look at this again. And what is the price? And then the file state, if it's available or not. The app ID, we did explain in this app ID that once you install my app on your phone, it generates an app ID that becomes static with the help of shared preferences. Oh, I can't wait until I get to Xamarin so you can see how I engineered this app. and then the flag if the customer wants to be notified or not, and then the customer reference number, the one I used to search, the name of the customer, and the phone number for customer to be contacted, and then if the file should be deleted or not, the flag, and then the process, how far away is it, pending, is it done, is it complete, what's happening, and then when was it created, and for which business. This is a foreign key for this table called the businesses. This is a very important, it's a complete entity data model class, this one. Now, when it comes to the constructor, I'm initializing the default, which is the new GUID for the ID, and then the file state, obviously it's available by default, and then the process, it's pending. These are the things that you saw here. Let me do this live. You see pending, do you see this pending? It's exactly what we see here. Pending. The file state, can we see the file state? Let's see, file state. Yes, file state, it is available because if it's deleted, it will show it's deleted. And then there's a specific use case for that. And then when was it created on, which is the date that we see here. When was it created on, the date and the time. Okay, cool. And for which business, obviously. Right, so we are done with this guy. And then we need, I'm gonna close it, but I want you to pay attention to this request class, but I need to close this one so that Visual Studio doesn't become mad at me and become unresponsive. Okay, so now we're gonna go to ApplicationDBContext. Okay, like I said, this guy, it's what says this class, it is the only class that has a legal right to talk to the database. He creates a database, he talks to the database, he manipulates the database at this class on behalf of these tables. One of them being uploads, right? So this is how we register it. So we are done. So when you see uploads, ApplicationDBContext.uploads, we are interacting with this table. So we don't need this guy. Okay, this was all here, where we have to instantiate the object, of ApplicationDB context class, and then we're gonna use this guy to do some stuff. But in .NET Core project I'm about to show, once I'm done with this one, I want you to notice the difference. Okay, so I'm a very disciplined developer. I use comments, and then these comments are for Swagger. I did test with the Swagger.NET Core earlier on. They are beautiful. They help you, that this document, we're expecting this and all that. And this is what I'm gonna clean from tomorrow. I'm gonna clean this project. It's messy. Like you see like this. I'm saying it should return 2.1, but that's not 2.1. It's okay, it's 200, as you can see. So it's a messy, but I'm gonna fix it. Okay, so here we add a single upload of media data in a system, as we saw. And then if something is wrong, I'm unable to add an upload due to validation errors. We'll talk about the validation errors on this class in a second. And then the line number 28, this is HTTP post. This is the verb or the method. It's post. Yes. And line number 21, this is the route of this endpoint, right? So when I go to API routes for V1, so let's go there. There we'll find this static class called uploads. There we go. So this is public static class uploads, and then there's a constant variable of type string. Okay, we are taught that the constant values should be in capital letters. Do you still remember that? Well, I was taught this in the first year, OPG1. Yes, by Miss Kayla and Miss Poulet. Big up to you, ladies. You taught me well. Well, CUT right now has lecturers that are not passionate about IT. That's my opinion. And then we have the base. And then we have the mobile application. When I upload it, it knows about it, the base, it knows everything. And then we have the version number, and then we have the route, the extra route for the endpoint. So the mobile application and the desktop. I should talk about the desktop, which is WPF. Yes, it's making use of this, but I'm not done with this system. I'm gonna spend probably the entire December programming this thing to be fully fledged desktop version. So we're done with this guy. So that's the route. And then the response type, like I said, this is a messed up system, but in .NET Core, like you saw, it's good. I fixed everything. Okay, so I'm not gonna get to that one. Now, this is the actual endpoint. Well, in my world, it's public. It needs to be exposed publicly. It's asynchronous. I'm an asynchronous developer returning HTTP action result. This is the name of the endpoint. And then this is what now we are expecting from anyone who utilizes this web service or web API, Xamarin application or WPF application. So now we need to talk about this request. look at the request. Every property in here are required because we're gonna validate the request that comes in. If you notice, I don't have that navigation property for businesses. I also don't have upload ID as a primary key. I don't need them because I mean it's a request, right? That's the sole purpose of request. So I have everything. Now the question is, why did I add extra attribute called display? It's because when I test, I need to know, int type. So this is the best practice. This is how good I am. So everything here is the same from that entity data model, except I removed the things that should not be known by the client that utilizes this service. Now we need to talk about this attribute validator. Okay, post upload request validator for v1. So we are done with this guy, but we need to validate this request. So the validator, surprisingly, why are we only validating the customer reference? It's like I was lazy when I was doing this. Why am I not validating all of the requests? Why only this? Why is it so important that I'm only validating the customer reference? Yes, I know the exact length should be 5 characters. Exact length should be 5 characters, and this is what we are able to see here. Let me do this. There we go. Customer reference 5 characters. But why am I not validating other stuff? I need to come back to this and fix this. I can't just be validating one thing. Okay, the error message, in case there's error message, it's found on the global variables. Okay, let me just do this. I hope Visual Studio is not gonna become mad. Visual Studio. Thank goodness it's not mad. Okay, so in case there's an issue, it's gonna say, funny enough, I just saw something funny. It should say the customer reference length should be 5 characters. Okay, why do I see validation message for customer's phone number, yet I only have customer reference? This is a weird thing. So where is this guy being utilized? I need to spend time diagnosing this system of mine. It's funny. Okay, but this is a validator. Okay, so we have the entire object, right? So we're gonna check if the model state is valid or not. If it's not, it's gonna return this guy based on fluent validation and other errors. And then we're gonna use AutoMapper. I'm gonna show this towards the end, how AutoMapper is fixing this system. Okay, so we need to go to this guy, upload the v1 profile. Okay, I'm just creating the map. Obviously, like I said, if you're gonna use AutoMapper, the class name should, append or have profile towards the end, or at the end of, towards the end of the name of the class, because it inherits from profile, and profile comes from AutoMapper. Okay, it provides a named configuration for maps. Naming convention become scope per profile, right? So we need just the construct and create the map from the source. So the source is going to be this request to the destination, which is the entity data model. As you can see, it comes from data access layer project. Okay, so this is us mapping it, and I'll show, like, I really want to show this, but I'll probably use the Visual Studio towards the end. Okay, and then we have mapper configuration saying, listen, you're going to have options where you're going to add this profile, the one we just looked at, and then out of that configuration, we're going to create the mapper. We're going to store it here, and then the upload. So what we're going to do is that we're going to map the request, which is the source, to the destination, and then this is what the value we're going to have as a return type, because it's going to return something. And then that's what we add to the upload of the ApplicationDBContext class. And then we're going to use this try to save the changes asynchronously. And then if all goes well, you see, this is wrong. This guy returns integer. It's asynchronous, but it returns integer, so that we know was it success or not. Because look at the number of the exceptions, potential exceptions that can be thrown. So it's better if we know that, was it success or not. It's better, because I don't like it. I feel like I'm also growing as a developer, where I don't like things that have been done for the sake of being done. I love doing things clean. I'm still growing as a developer. And obviously, like I said, I'm still going to deal with this DB update exception. I don't know why it will throw this, but yeah, it will generate conflicts. Because if the ID exists, we're going to use this upload exist. helper method to check if the ID is the same, because it's go with why see, this method is not necessary. If it was integer 1 2 3 4 5, yes, or string, maybe you said 101 or ID1 ID2 ID3, I don't know, whatever it is, but the point is it's go with. Even if you're using student number or staff number, yes, you can use this upload exists to check if it exists or not, but we're talking about go with. It generates this thing, you know, and then the system takes care of this. So I'm gonna remove this guy. Okay, but I'm not gonna remove this dispose, because this handles a garbage collection mechanism to handle garbage collection. So there's a controller in a nutshell, and that means I'm done with .NET Framework. Few things when it comes to .NET Core. Let me close this project. I want this guy to stay pinned. Now .NET Core. This is .NET Core, right? And by the way, it works. Someday I'm gonna do a live demo to show that it works. The Xamarin application knows. Let me just give you a sneak peek of what I'm talking about. If we go to shared project for Xamarin, and I want to go to utilities, and then we're gonna go to web API URL. I can easily switch this guy. See, it's using 2-in-1, and I also have another .NET Core project, web API, which is api.identicaldocs.co.za. This is ASP.NET Core web API project, and this one that's loading, right? It works. Hence, I want to show the difference between this one being 2-in-1, which is both. This is MVC part that you're seeing right now, but .NET other web API is behind the scenes. Sorry, my English wants to run out of airtime. It's crazy. It's not gonna deplete. I have so much. I have a lot of airtime. I just need to relax. Okay, this what you're seeing is MVC portion, MVC project. It's 2-in-1. It's MVC portion. Behind the scenes, it's web API. This is the standalone .NET Core web API project. So what I'm saying is, when it comes to Xamarin, I only switched this guy to include API instead of this. It works. I've tested this thing. This was Xamarin. Stay tuned for this, because you want to know how I developed this, and I'm going to clean some stuff. Okay, so .NET Core. Now, I only need the controller and the services. That's it. So let's go to uploads v1. Give it a couple of seconds to spin, load. Okay, because I don't want to upset Visual Studio and become unresponsive. Cool, we are done. And then, so what do we need here? We spoke about this attribute API controller when we did controllers on this video. There's a video, controllers, where I showed the difference between MVC controller and web API controller. So you should mark this guy as API controller, or decorated this entire class with API controller attribute, and then you need to inherit from controller base. In MVC, just controller. And then global variables. This is where now I bring in IUpload service v1. So we need to look at the services. And for uploads, we just want to start with the interface. Give it a couple of seconds. There we go. So this is our interface. It has only one method. Okay, returns a task. This is the name of the method, and then it takes in the request. The request is the same. The implementation of that interface, here it is. So this is where now we are implementing that interface, right? And then this is where now we have our global variables, where we bring in ApplicationDBContext class. This time we're not instantiating it like we did with .NET Framework. So in .NET Core, we're not instantiating it. Instead, we're gonna use the constructor to inject it. And I'll show where this has been registered. In fact, let me show you right now where it's been registered. We're gonna go to installers. We did cover installers in our previous videos. Please watch this video and then depends injection, because then we're gonna go to DB installer. Give it a couple of seconds to load. Load. It's done. And this is where we register v1 upload. Now notice there's a v2. And then there's a v3. V3 is the most recent one where I provide security on these endpoints. V2, that's when I brought in this unique property called price. This one, there was no price in v1. There's no price, so v2 I included price to know the price, because this is easy for Frank to know. Oh, my friend, it's 45 rand, you know. I also included this on the administrator's dashboard to know that it's 45 rand. Here it is, 45 rand. So when I edited this property, I had to create v2, a version of this contract. Okay, so that's where I register my services to be injected using the Constructor injector. Okay, oh, we're done here. So I do the same thing with IMapper for AutoMapper. I use the Constructor to inject these two guys, ApplicationDBContext and IMapper. And then I have only one method. It's asynchronous method, where whatever that comes in as a request, look at how simple it is. I just receive the request, I map it to this destination, from the source to destination, and then I have the value, and then I add it to the upload property of ApplicationDBContext, and I save the changes. That's it. Even here, I still need to handle was it success or not, because it still returns integer, and this is .NET Core. So that's the service. So I need to destroy these two guys, and then we have the normal. Okay, the difference again is gonna be, like I told you, I cleaned this guy. Look at the commands for the response codes. I have 400. It will handle. It's not here. You see, when it comes to this endpoint, we have this if not model is valid, where we return the beta request. But I did explain this in this video of validation filters, that we don't need to have this if statement. It's unnecessary. In .NET Core, it's been handled somewhere on the filters. If I go to utilities, helpers, filters, you see validation filter class. So this is the guy that handles it. He handles everything. The only thing I need is that you're gonna return this error request model, error response model, and that's what we see here in case there's validation errors. And then it returns 200 type void. Okay, so this is it. Get this guy. The guy that depends injectable is gonna give us this method where we're gonna, and then that's it. This is the difference. Yo, I was quick. Okay, I want to show something. I'm done. Literally, I'm done. But I want to go back to the web application in a second. But I want to show this AutoMapper. So what I'm gonna do right click. I'm gonna show the history. Please watch my previous videos on version control series, where this is helpful to know how it was previously. So if you go to get, I'm gonna go to view history. Let's give it a second to load this. Give it a second. It's loading. Like I was saying, the content doesn't exist on the internet. My YouTube channel has only this classic content. I know the videos are long, but I have to show everything. In fact, this video is supposed to be 2.5 hours, but I'm just keeping it roughly to 45 max 50 minutes. But what you're getting is stuff that is good. This web API, it is the one that allowed me to upload, literally. Okay, it's still loading. This is a video studio. It needs to pull everything. I don't need to. There we go. We're gonna look at that one. Are you done? It's not yet done. Come on, finish. See, they're still coming. Only the history on this particular file, particular document, which is uploads underscore v1 controller. I'm getting all the history. There we go. Finished. Oh, there's a lot I did on this file, but I want to focus on part 1, integrate AutoMapper. This guy. View commit details. I need to do this to show what I did. Do you see? I brought in or add this class based on the symbol. We did this in our previous series. Tiny symbol add, where I edited this class, and then that's it. And then on the controller, I modified something, and that's what I want to show what it did. So after I edit using AutoMapper, and then where the profile is located, this is what it did. This is what it used to be. This is what it used to be. it mapped everything with few lines of code, literally. And this is the power of AutoMapper. With that being said, I believe I'm done with the Visual Studio, this side. Stay tuned for the next video where it's gonna be, the focus is gonna be on uploaded docs, how it actually gets here. But what I want to show lastly, this is the dashboard for my client. It's a beautiful dashboard, by the way. It appears nice on but I don't want to do anything. I just want to show you that yes, if I cancel, it's still there. There's nothing significant. The only thing that's significant about this feature of uploads is the MVC. You saw there was nothing right here. Before there was a record, there was nothing. And how is it that the administrator can see 145 entries here? 145. It's because what I did here, I did say, listen, you can only see this going back 7 days ago. That's why we have this date time object of created on property, so that we can manipulate, you know, dates and the times and everything. So this is the value. It's beautiful. It's incredible. Okay, so I'm done with this, but I want to keep this as it is for the next session I'm about to do, which is upload docs. Then there's a controller that helps the actual documents to move. The video is going to be short, simple, and straight to the point. With that being said, thank you very much. Until next time. Please like the video if you find it helpful. Please subscribe. Click on the notification bell because there's more that's coming. And I showed you that I'm still going to do Xamarin series. There's more that's coming. You don't want to miss out what's happening here. And tell your fellow developers about the goodness of this YouTube channel. With that being said, thank you.